I used to have a trucking company. We had over-the-road trucks. We ran all 48 states. And that sort of went to pot in '08. So I'd always been interested in doing woodworking with the trees, not the building of furniture, with trees. So I went and bought a sawmill out in Wisconsin, got about a 10-minute lesson on how to run that, brought it home and started cutting logs for people. And then we decided that I should be doing more than just cutting. So I figured I better make some furniture, so I just went to a furniture store and crawled underneath all their tables and stuff to see how they were put together, because I had no clue on how to do it. And then I came back and just kind of invented my own way of making the furniture. So it's a kind of a different style. All my stuff is real wood. I don't use anything fake. It's all solid. It's iron legs on a lot of it, wood legs on a lot of it. I'd like to incorporate the wood and the iron. But it's just sort of progressed since the trucking company. We started Three Fingers Sawmill about 5 years ago. And the name is a lie, of course. The first lie I've told in this business, probably not the last. But we couldn't think of a good name. And when I bought the sawmill, I thought, I was laying in bed that night thinking how big a mistake this was. And I thought, oh, probably cut a bunch of fingers off. So I woke my wife up and I said, let's call it Three Fingers Sawmill. She gave me heck and told me to go back to sleep. But anyway, so that was the name that I'm glad we chose it, because nobody forgets that name. That seems to go with the business. Half of my customers are missing digits. I do a lot of dining room tables. Once in a while, like some of these in here are made for stock, but a lot of the tables I make, the people haul their logs in to me. And so now it's kind of like an heirloom piece, because it came off of great-grandfather's property, or where they're building their new home or whatever. So we sit down, we go over what types of furniture they might want in their home, and then I saw the logs up and make the right thickness of boards and the right width of boards and that. Then I have a kiln for drying the lumber. So then I kiln dry it all, and then after it's all stabilized, then I have the people come back. I spread out all their boards, and if we're doing, for instance, dining room table, then they get to choose. If the table has 2 to 5 boards in it, they get to pick the boards that go into that table, which gives them a feeling of being a part of it, which they are. And then we go over the legs and how they want to sit at the table. Where the legs go is very important to a table. It isn't like going to a furniture store where you take what they've got. Here, I set them at a chair and we'll move a leg back and forth so they know if they want to sit at the ends or the sides or whereabouts and how many people. And you know, it's completely customized. And then also under the table, I write their names or have them sign it. I put a description of the property the wood came off of and who ordered it. So now it's an heirloom, so when it's passed down for generations, the kids will all know the history of it and who had it built. And it'll stay in the family, which I think is important. This table is built by Tyler Butcher, the guy who does all my finishing. It's made out of 2 separate elm boards. That's all there is 2 boards in here. And this was a spalted American elm, which nobody in their right mind will work with because the wood does not like to be worked with. It likes to bow and crack. And so he's put a tremendous amount of work into this. The lines are just perfect and they're book matched, so the grains run together. And then he kind of made up his own legs, and he made them with wood. This is oak wood right here, and this is the same elm that is in the top, but we wanted it to look kind of like I-beams, and then he put some metal in with it. It's probably the most unique table I've ever seen. It was the hit of the Lake Home and Cabin show, without question. Over here, I love to repurpose stuff. This is an old ashtray from the 30s that lights at the bottom. And then I found a piece of box elder that has pink in it, so that complements the bottom of that, out of the lighted table. You can buy furniture any place and it doesn't mean anything, and if you get tired of it, you get rid of it. If you have it custom made out of your own wood, now that's a part of the family. You can say, oh, you know, great-grandfather used to shoe horses underneath this tree. And that is a problem, because when they did shoe horses by the trees, they would often hang the old horseshoe on a little branch. Well, that branch turned into a great big limb, which turned into the trunk of the tree. So when I saw the tree, there's a horseshoe in it. Or could be wrenches. I find wire all the time. There's wire in it. Hurley's found cannonballs in the stumps of trees. I know a few sawyers that have found guns inside of trees. So there's history to no end on. And I find lots of bullets in the trees. And that's kind of cool too, because kid can say, well, this is where Dad was teaching me how to shoot. So those bullets are from when Dad and I first were out shooting. So history is important. People always say it's an art. I don't know. I feel kind of weird when they say it's an art. I'm just a dusty old curmudgeon that builds stuff. I don't know. I see it when I'm cutting it, and I don't know if that's artistic or not, but I just see things that I think would look good together, and that's what I do. They can call it what they want.